Welcome to Justice Impacted People. You might be asking yourself why I've sprinkled in videos about entrepreneurship, things about my personal life. I'm supposed to be out there in the streets interviewing homeless people about how they got there, how their day-to-day life is, and what they plan to do when they get off the streets. Well, I'll tell you why. Because entrepreneurship is a way out of poverty. Period. Okay. People that are recently incarcerated or have been on the street with little to no job history are not really prime candidates to climb the corporate ladder in America. I'm not saying it can't be done, it's just not an avenue for most. However, owning a business is a way out of poverty. For instance, this video is designed to show people what the day-to-day struggle is like, what it's like in the grind. I see a lot of videos and stories about people that have already reached the summit, and then they recollect what it was like during their grind, and that's good. That's great. People need to hear that. But this is a video so people can look back and see like, oh, Mike actually did it the hard way. I have non-negotiables. I wake up early. I work out or get in some cardio daily. I need energy level high so I can start this business. I work minimum wage. Okay? 30 million people in America work at $20 an hour or less. That's what McDonald's pays its entry-level employees. That's 20% of the American workforce. Another 2 to 3% of Americans are incarcerated, and then maybe like a percent or two that are out on the street. So there's a lot of people that are living at or below the poverty line. Okay, I've previously owned a carpet cleaning business where I made over $10,000 a month net. Okay, that's what I'm planning to do here. So I've been doing this for about 6 months now. I save half of my income. Okay, I spend about 4 hours a day learning new soft skills. Now that might be for you just learning how to type or learning how to operate an email. Maybe you've never used a computer because you've been out in the streets for a while. I don't know. Or maybe you've been incarcerated for the last 20 years. You don't know what a freaking Facebook page is. I don't know. But learn soft skills. If it's not AI, ChatGPT is a great tool where you can learn anything by asking. You can tell it how to teach you. It's a phenomenal tool. There's also Facebook groups where you can get to know people in your trade, in your niche. And you can reverberate and you can get real-time information immediately about your trade. Okay, and then there's YouTube videos like this. YouTube is a great teacher, you know. And I'm sure there's other platforms like Udemy and things like that. Okay, I've been to college. I've also owned six-figure businesses before. You gotta have non-negotiables. I don't spend time with friends. I don't have friends. I do, but I don't spend time with them. I'm either at work, getting my wage to save for my company. My launch, by the way, is in about 60 days. So I will have launched the company within 9 months. And at the beginning of that journey, I had only $200. So in November, I had $200. That was it. Now it's May. I've already done all the legal things that I needed to do. I've cleared away all the debt that I had. I had over about $100,000 of debt. Gone, wiped. Okay, moving forward. You know, I recently got a new credit card. And I will be using that for marketing. Leverage credit for marketing. But I've already put in my 10,000 hours. Like I already know. I've already followed the 80-20 rule. So that I'm all that But before I would put in 100% effort and only 20% results I would get over a period of years. Well, now that I'm starting over, I really only have to put in that 20% effort because I know it works. Most people don't have that luxury. They're going to bounce around. They're going to spend money they didn't need to spend, this and that. I mean, I'm going hard. As soon as I launch, I'm running a $1,000 meta campaign to focus on homeowners in my local area, and my ads are scientifically proven. I already have an idea what my customer acquisition cost is going to be. You got to know your numbers. Analyze your numbers. Always go over them. Go over them again and again and again. Learn how to use Google Sheets, Google Doc. There's a free office software. There's tutorials on how to use them. Those are the soft skills that I'm talking about that will slowly add up. There's a website called Zapier that interconnects other software programs so they can talk to each other. Like, for instance, if a Facebook lead comes in, you need to be able to connect that up to your phone or connect that up to a Google Sheet so it can make a list of all your inquiries, you know? So there's a lot to learn, but if you're working a minimum wage job that doesn't require much brain cells to do, you can use your brain then afterward, because that's what they're paying you for. They're paying you for you to be there. They're not paying for your brain. People that get paid for their brain make those 6 figures, but you got to work your way up to that. And then if you got big gaps in your employment history, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it's there's other options, and entrepreneurship is one of them. Okay, so put in my hours, you know. So now, whatever trade you're going to get in, you're going to need to buy tools. You need to prepare your product, get your product to market. Once you're open, or you have your grand opening, and you have your product or service ready for market, you need to do an advertising campaign. You got to pay to play. You got to pay to pay. Like I have an idea of what my revenue will be in the first month, the second month, and the third month. So my income will 5x over the period of maybe like 45 days, you know, but I will continue to live frugal. I don't spend money on anything. I have clean clothes, but I don't go out and buy, you know, $30, $40 t-shirts. I don't spend money on anything that's not related to necessities or that's going to be saved towards opening this business. And then in the first 60 days, I'm nurturing it like a child, like a baby, because this is something that's going to take care of everybody else that I care about in life, right? So if I focus and nurture this little business, and then it starts making, you know, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, I don't need all that money because I know how to live frugally. I'm happy right where I'm at. I don't need money, but I don't need money for silly things, for consumer items. I want money to be able to afford healthcare, safety, security, provisions, vehicles, anything I need for me, you know, for my daughter and for everybody that I care about, really. And also, owning your own business, you can provide job opportunities to those around you too. You take care of your people. Money's not the root of all evil. It's the tree of life, really, because it expounds anything that's in your heart, which I find to be the most beneficial thing in entrepreneurship. And you can grow. You can just be a one-person band, you know, where it's just you, or you can employ hundreds of thousands. You take care of your people, and you also, more importantly, do you fix someone's problem? So when you provide a product or service, you really want to fix somebody's problem. Like, I'm starting a carpet cleaning company. People have dirty carpet. They want it clean. So I fix their problem. And that's typically like a middle class problem. So I'm fixing problems for people that have money. Wealth is transferred. It's not created. Thanks.